What's happening, people, and welcome back to the Park Lane podcast. And I tell you what, it's only chuffing Derby day. Anyway, let's get straight into it. Dave, how you doing, mate? Welcome back.
Good afternoon or good morning, guys. I notoriously hate Derby Day. I feel sick. I don't understand how anybody can look forward to it, but it's here. So let's talk about it. Other than that, I'm doing good.
Lovely. And Wynnie, how you doing, mate?
Exactly the same as Dave. I think, to be honest, mate, I've been to the toilet about 15 times already. I don't get how people enjoy it. I'm nervous. I'm sick. I'm not looking forward to it, but hopefully by 12:30, I'll have changed my opinion, mate.
Do you know what, lads? I have like the complete opposite of like emotion.
Really?
Like I'm absolutely excited and buzzing, but maybe it's because we've got the show to do. And then as soon as that's over and I start putting the telly on and watching the teams walk out and everything else, I'll absolutely shit myself. But no, before we get into it, everybody, thanks again for watching. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel if you like it. Even if you don't like it, subscribe anyway, and never watch us again. Don't forget to like the video as well and comment and put your comments in with score predictions, lineups, and everything else. Obviously, at 11:30, we will have the lineups as soon as they come out, and we'll chat all about that. But until then, we're going to chat and kind of decide who we think should be playing in this game. So, Wynnie, let's come back to you. As you seem the most nervous today. Going into this game,
color. You're a bit white.
Yeah,
Wynnie.
going in.
I told you, I'm not feeling well, mate. I'm not good.
Yeah, coming into this game, like going on form and everything else, like it seems probably, I would say, one of the most evenly matched Derby days that we have seen. Like, forget about past experience, forget about everything else. Like coming into this game, the start of this season, like what are your thoughts leading up to the match in an hour's time?
Like you said, evenly matched. Like it's a game that's in the balance. I think either team could win today, and I know that's a bit of a cliche because that's obvious. But like you say, it's so evenly matched. I think I think the first goal is crucial. And again, another cliche, but whoever gets that, I think if Arsenal were to get it, I think we would probably struggle to break them down and kick on from there. But it's a difficult one. I'm probably a bit more. I don't seem it, but I'm probably a bit more optimistic than I have been in recent derbies. But like I said, I'm just shitting bricks, mate. I just don't want to lose. I want to win. Obviously, I want to win every week, but I just really don't want to lose. And I'm sure everyone, quite a few people feel the same, mate.
Yeah, definitely, mate. And Dave, touching on that, that key point that you just made about not wanting to lose. It's a little bit like the game at White Hart Lane last season, where if Arsenal beat us, they would get Champions League football. Today, if they beat us, we lose our unbeaten Premier League run. And even though it's not important in reality, to that kind of like mental state and, the banter brigade, like that is like quite annoying if they do beat us today. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, a couple of things. So I'm the only Tottenham fan in my family, pretty much now. My uncle who passed away who's the one who got me into supporting Tottenham, but the rest of my family are Chelsea and Arsenal. So today is huge for me because if we lose, I'm turning my phone off for 2 days. If we win, my WhatsApp's going to be busier than ever. The same as it was last season. In terms of us, I mean, I saw a stat the other day that this is the longest run in North London derbies where an away side has not picked up any points. So it's been consistently the away side don't pick up anything at obviously White Hart Lane or the Tottenham Ep.6 Stadium or the Emmershites. So it's interesting. It's an interesting derby. I think we're looking over the last 10, 15 years. This is the closest matched that I can ever remember us. Arsenal started the season flying. They're playing great football. We've been poor, but we're grinding out results. Now, a sign of a good team is a team that plays poorly and still picks up points. And that's what it's all about. So for me today, if somebody offered me a draw right now, I'd take it. But of course I want to win. I want to get them bragging rights. And the unbeaten run, I don't think we should make too much of that. I think that's it's great. We've gone 7 unbeaten, but I think if you make too much of staying unbeaten, it can lead to, again, to poor performances, and that's like an added pressure. I think more of a case of getting on the pitch today, putting in a good performance, and hopefully coming away with 3 points.
Yeah, definitely, mate. I only bring up that unbeaten run because it would just be another thing that Arsenal fans, I say that because I do know, and I'm friendly with a few Arsenal fans, and it's these moments. It's always the trophies. It's always this. It's always that. It's we're gonna get Champions League at your ground, and it's we're gonna beat you for the only team that's beaten you this season. And we're only 7-8 games into the season, but still, it's just one of those annoying things that would really, really piss me off. But I'm a little bit like you, where I just don't want to lose the game today. And a lot of people might watch this and think, it's very pessimistic, and everything else. But our run and our games at the Emirates have been awful, in recent years. Awful. I look back, Wynnie, I don't know if you remember, but probably know better than I do, but going back to last season at the Emirates, with Nuno in charge, where somehow we had no players playing in midfield.
I know. Well, we had a stretch, didn't we? We lost 3-0. We lost 3-0 to Arsenal, 3-0 to Palace, 3-0 to Chelsea. I think we was getting battered every week at that point. So that wasn't a good period. But
we don't talk about Nuno. We don't talk about Nuno. We don't. No. That's ancient history. But I get what you're saying, Luke. And last season it was at the Emirates was awful. I mean, we were 3-0 down within 30 minutes. That can't happen today.
No.
I think to stop that happening today, I know you're going to get onto what our teams will be and things like that, but I think Conte has to play 3 in midfield.
Yeah, do you know what? It's interesting. Like, I thought that when we played that 3 in midfield in the last part of the Leicester game, it was a really good test. It was a really good kind of tryout for that formation. Like, I personally didn't think that he would pick a side like that, but from a few people that I've been seeing on Twitter, and obviously, you can't believe everyone. A few people that are trying to guess the lineups that often get it right.
Like Paul O'Keefe, for example.
He's gone for a 3 in midfield, and if we do that, it could be an idea from Conte to try and shut the game off in midfield. Like, let's be completely honest, Wynnie. Like, we're not gonna be on the front foot the entire game. Everybody knows that. Arsenal are going to attack us, and that's, in my opinion, exactly what we need to happen for us to be able to play. Because if they sit back, we won't win. I guarantee it. But if they come at us, there is a possibility that we can beat them, and that's really what I wanted to touch on. I want to talk about Arsenal for a second, Wynnie, and what your thoughts are on their weak links and where we should be targeting.
I think I've said it before. So going forward, they do look impressive this year. Don't like to admit it, but they do. But to me, I mean, and I think I touched on it with Dave last week. Saliba aside, because he is a bit of a beast, they still look frail at the back. And again, it's a bit obvious. You attack their defense. That's probably their weakest point, in my opinion. But they've got people like Xhaka, Partey. If we can get in their heads, they're people that it's a North London derby. There's going to be tempers are going to be fraying. We need to start. If Xhaka starts, for example, just get someone on him.
Yeah, put it on him.
Yeah, just get someone on him. He will lose, no matter how much Arteta's telling him to keep his cool. He will lose his head. And we look at the game at Tottenham Ep.6 Stadium back end of last season. I think we'd have won that game anyway. But going down to 10 men was so important in that. It was huge at that point. And it obviously helped us go on to win the game. But I think we would have won it anyway. But yeah, I think we need to. Again, it depends on the formation. And like you said, I would say 3 in midfield is huge, but I personally don't think he's going to do it.
Well, Dave, what do you think about Arsenal and where? I want some names. Who are the weak points and where should we be exploiting?
I think Ben White at right back. I don't think he's. I think he's a good defender, but I don't think he's a right back. I think if you put Sonny against him or Richarlison against him, or even go for a 3-5-2 and you have Perisic running at him, I think that could potentially be a weak link. Again, Wynnie is right in terms of Xhaka. Xhaka is a hothead. We know that. It's all about targeting that. But I think what sort of game we're going to see is typical Antonio Conte. I think we're going to see Tottenham sitting back, soaking up pressure and looking to break on the counter, because we're lethal on the counter attack. If we get it right, we could score 4, 5, 6 against any team. That's just the way I see it. So personally, I think you get at their fullbacks, because we don't know. Obviously, Tierney, he might not be fit. He might be fit.
Yeah.
Obviously, Zinchenko is not going to be fit. I don't think he's going to be fit anyway. Obviously, we've got our own concerns as well, which we haven't really touched upon yet. Is Hugo?
Yeah.
So let's talk. Hugo's injured, along with Ben Davis, which means we could see Fraser Forster in goal.
That'd be your ideal, wouldn't it, Dave?
Yep,
You'd absolutely fucking love
so,
that.
but there we go. I think we could see Forster come along in goal. So it's just more of a case of we've got to be tight for the first 15, 20 minutes. We have to be tight for the first 15, 20 minutes. Absorb that pressure. Don't concede an early goal, and then build up as we do from the back and work our way forward. There isn't. I'll be honest with you. Arsenal's team isn't that weak this season. Saliba's a monster. He's an absolute monster. But he hasn't had a real test yet. Today's his real test, because he's up against one of the best strikers in the world in Harry Kane. So we'll see how good he really is. This is like a yardstick for where both teams are at this game. It's a yardstick where Arsenal are at. They want to obviously push on and finish fifth again. And obviously we want to push on and carry on getting top 4. So it's a yardstick to see how far we've come from last season.
Yeah, definitely. And Wynnie, I'm going to come back to you again. My last question really on Arsenal is, I'm not expecting you to analyze tactically Arsenal's performances, but David's right in terms of having a set kind of like stone, as in this is where that Arsenal team are at. They really haven't been tested, with the likes of Bournemouth, Fulham, Palace, everybody else. But the day they did get tested, and I'm not going to ask my next question because that's coming later, but the day they did get tested was against Manchester United.
Yeah.
And they faltered pretty badly.
And this is also a Manchester United side that are not convincing. I know they've improved their performances. Ten Hag has got something right now, but this is a Man United side who got battered by Brentford. So the first real test, like you say, they came up against a Man United side and they fell down. So
and they got destroyed on the counter attack as well.
Yeah, exactly. And as we know, Tottenham, we are famous for counter attacking football. So like Dave touched on, if we can get it right today, there is no reason why we can't score 4, 5, 6 goals. You never know.
Wow, you're there first.
Well, there isn't.
Yeah. No, you're right. Dave, what are your thoughts on that, that test for Arsenal in terms of getting it right, being compact at the back and really hitting them where it hurts? You're on mute.
That would help, wouldn't it? So like I said to you before, I think we need to play 3 in midfield. I think we need to, because the problem is they have Xhaka, Partey and Odegaard, who plays just in front of them. If we just play a 2 with Højbjerg and Bentancur, we'll get overrun in that midfield. We need to go like for like and match them up so we don't get overrun in the midfield. The rest of it will take care of itself. But if we're solid and compact in the middle and we win the early battles, for example, the one-on-ones, Bentancur wins his battles with Xhaka, for example, then we can hurt them. I think if Basuma comes in, I liked what I saw against Leicester. I'm kind of hoping he puts in the same performance, because when I first saw him for us, his first performance for us was pretty poor. But this is a massive, massive game. So I just hope that the players realise that how big of a game this is. The players that haven't been here long, Romero's, for example. But in terms of Arsenal, we know what they're going to do. They're going to try and play through the lines. They're going to try and break at us. They're going to play through the lines, keep ball, and look for the opportunities, the openings. We can't give them opportunities, can't give them openings. That's pretty much pretty much the only way we've got to play. We know we'll probably have 25% possession for the whole game. I'm completely comfortable with that. That's how we play. I know people have issues with that. I have no problem with that whatsoever.
No.
At all. So, if we can keep 25% of the possession and then hit them when we do get the opportunity, because we will get opportunities against them.
You're right. It's about utilizing that 25% when it comes,
Exactly.
And that's what I agree with you on. Sorry, I'll let you carry on. But, it's I'm comfortable having 25% possession, winning the game and utilizing that 25%.
Yeah.
If we have 25% possession and we do shuffle with the ball, then, it's pointless.
Yeah, I mean, like I said to you, people do get frustrated by it, but to me, it doesn't bother me. That's Conte football. That's Conte ball. That's how he plays. That's how he set up his teams for years and years. So, the way I see it is we'll have very limited possession. We'll let Arsenal have the ball. Let Arsenal dominate the ball. And say for example we get an early goal, that's the ideal scenario. We get an early goal because then they'll be chasing the game, which means we can hit them on the break more because they'll leave gaps, they'll leave openings. I think you'll find that the first 15, 20 minutes of this game will probably be really cagey. Neither team wanting to commit too much forward. So it'll probably be quite a cagey game. But when he's right, the first goal is crucial. If we get that first goal, it brings them right into our hands and it brings them right into our game. Because they're going to have to attack us. They're at home. The crowd will be behind. The crowd will be on their backs. So get the first goal. Keep it tight, and then exploit those spaces, exploit the limited possession we do have, and then we'll be all right.
Yeah, definitely. I was on a few shows this week, and in the build up as kind of usual for this kind of thing, and I was on mixed streams. One with Arsenal fans, one with just Tottenham fans. And the key thing is a few people asked me was like, they were like, where are the key battles like in this game? Like, where are the battles that you want to see and where do you think it's going to happen? And I had to rack my brain a few times. And for me, ever since I've been talking about it, it's none of the players on the pitch for me. And I've said this in previous streams when we did Arsenal shows and Tottenham shows, and I've said it before and I will say it again. The key battle for me is the managerial battle. I do not believe that Mikel Arteta has the strongest mentality to deal with adversity and to deal with things when it goes wrong. Look at it. Let's look at two prime examples, okay? And I'll come to you, Dave. Let's look at the game at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. They put what's his chops on Heung-min Son. He gets sent off. And then Mikel Arteta doesn't know what to do at halftime. He switches Saka wings for some reason. Absolutely no idea why. Look at the Man United game when they're 2-1 down, and he decides to make a tactical substitution to try and win the game, and they get beat 3-1. These are the key areas that I think are going to be really, really important. Look how Conte got in Tuchel's head against Chelsea. And he will do the same again. You will see Arteta ranting. You'll see him raving. You'll see him trying to be the ball boy and running up and down the touchline. No idea how he doesn't get yellow carded for leaving his technical area for 90% of the game. But you'll see that happening. And if, as you say, Dave, if we can get the first goal or get two goals, they will not know what to do because they don't have the biggest squad. Everyone talks about depth in Arsenal. They don't have the biggest squad. To me, if Gabriel Jesus gets injured today, they're absolutely screwed because they've only got Eddie and Nketiah to play. And that's really all they've got on the bench. If they're chasing the game and they need another goal, that will be the substitution. He will come on from midfield.
Yeah, and they got that Marquinhos as well, but he's very young. But no, I do agree in part. Obviously, Arteta will probably be giving a team talk at half time about light bulbs again or tea lights or nonsense like that. But no, obviously Conte is an experienced manager. If anyone can win a tactical battle, it's Antonio Conte. We've seen him do it numerous times. But for me, the key battle is that midfield area. We've got to dominate that midfield. We cannot let Odegaard dictate play. We cannot let Partey and Xhaka get into good positions and create good openings for Odegaard to feed Martinelli, to feed Saka, to feed Jesus. We've got to dominate that midfield, which is why I think a free with Basuma is going to be crucial because then you can go man for man. You stick Basuma on Odegaard, Bentancur on Xhaka or Bentancur on Partey and Højbjerg on either or. You go man for man. You don't allow them to have space. You don't allow them to dictate play from the midfield. If they want to go, they got to go all the way back and they work their way back forward again. And we've just got to stifle them in every opportunity we possibly can. The only way you can really win a game in Conte's style is with the players we have, with the quickness on the break, the players who can find a pass like Harry Kane. Heung-min Son is a great finisher when he's on form, whipping in crosses for Richarlison. So our counter attacking suits our team down to the ground. So in my eyes, it is going to be a game where we do have barely any possession. We give up the ball a lot, but we hit them on a counter attack. But we have to stay compact. That's the biggest thing. I don't want to see Davinson Sanchez anywhere near this team today. Nowhere near it. If he's on the moon, I hope to God he's away from the team completely. I hope he's injured. So I don't want to see him anywhere near this team, because in games like this, we saw against Leicester.
Oh, mate, do you not remember the game? I can't remember if it was at the Emirates. It might have been at the Emirates, actually. And he gave away a penalty to Lacazette.
Yep.
When he flew in, he absolutely flew in for no reason. Yeah, I remember.
Kung Fu kicked him, didn't he? Pretty much. Yeah, so I think it's just a case of winning those individual battles. Obviously, it's North London derby. They're going to be up for it anyway. Obviously, Conte can get at Arteta. Everyone knows he can get at Arteta, and he'll go off and cry like he always does if it doesn't go his way. Like I said to you, that is a key battle. I agree with you, but I think the midfield battle is the most important.
Yeah, definitely. What are your thoughts, Wynnie, on that? Is it a stronger battle than the likes of Martinelli against either Emerson or Perisic on that right, left on their side, right on our side, or is it more important than Sessegnon and Perisic against Saka on that side, or Jesus against Dyer, Romero?
I really think if we, it's easy for us to sit here and just analyse it, but I really do think that if we just keep Odegaard quiet, I think we stifle anything that they can do going forward. He is the key man. He's their captain. He's like the Eriksen that we had. He's the one that everything good that they do goes through him. So if we can keep him quiet, I really do think we stifle anything that they have going forward. Gabriel Jesus, okay, fair enough, but he had a decent start to the season. How many goals has he scored against us? Specifically Tottenham Hotspur when he was at Man City. I can't put my finger on one. I don't think he's got a fantastic record against Spurs. I know it's different because he's in an Arsenal side now and he's got a bit more confidence. But yeah, I think it's very, very, very cliche. But if you keep Odegaard quiet, I really don't think they do much.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And what are we now? 5 minutes away from the lineups coming out, so we will have the lineups ready for you as soon as they're available. What I want everybody to do now, because I can see people watching in the chat, don't be shy. Get your comments in if you support Arsenal. Get your comments in if you support Spurs. Tell us where you're watching from. But what we're going to do now is try and predict the lineup ready for the lineups that come out in 5 minutes. So, Dave, I'm going to go to you first, then I'll come to me, then I'll go to Wynnie, and we'll see who's most right. Because I tell you what, we laughed at Wynnie when he wasn't on and he was commenting his lineup, but he actually got it pretty much spot on a few weeks ago. So, Dave, start with you. I want to hear what you think the lineup's going to be today.
Fraser Forster in goal.
Arsenal fans will hate that, and I'll tell you why, because they absolutely despise him in goal because he absolutely pulls out worldies when he was at Southampton.
It'll be Fraser Forster, it'll be Clement Longley, Eric Dyer, Christian Romero, Perisic and Sessegnon, Bissouma, Bentancur, Højbjerg, Son and Kane.
Wow, so you think that Decky drops out and
Decky's injured. Decky's a doubt, so but I think we'll play 3-5-2.
Okay. And Dave, just before I move on to myself, I tweeted the other day about I thought that Richarlison was a good shout to start this game just due to his, we all saw the tweets of him. It was him against Ozil when he first joined for Spurs. You can tell that he's a clever guy, right? And he knows what these things mean, whether it was Everton against Liverpool, whether it's, Tottenham against Arsenal. He's a clever guy and he knows about these rivalries. Of course, striker for Brazil, unlike the other guy. And, what are your thoughts on him playing?
I think he'd be great to have from the bench. I think he's a great option to bring on as opposed to starting him. I think Son scored a hat-trick against Leicester. You have to start Son. You can't drop him after that. You can't bench him again. I think more of a case of Richarlison, when the game's a bit, let's say, for example, we do go 1-0 up and it's getting late in the game and they're pushing on and you need someone to get at them and wind them up a bit, then you bring on Richarlison. But I don't think he starts today. I think he's got the perfect mentality for this type of game because he's aggressive, because he's a bit of a shithouse and he likes ruffling a few feathers. I'd be happy if he started today. But again, I don't think he will. But I do think his mould is ideal for a game like this.
Yeah. I definitely agree with you about him, and his mould to kind of fill this game. So I'm going to guess my lineup, slightly different to Dave's. I know we've already discussed it, but I still think we're going to go with our standard formation. So I'm going to go with Lloris in goal, Sessegnon, Longley, Dyer, Romero, and Perisic, Bendicourt and Højbjerg, and Son, Kane, and Richarlison. It's going to be difficult, right? As you say, the last thing we need is Richarlison, battering Xhaka in the middle of the pitch and him coming off worse and getting a red card, because again, that's also a possibility. But I think his mentality, sometimes in this game is about mentality, right? And sometimes it's about who wants it more. Son definitely has to play, and I don't think it's because he scored a hat-trick in the last game. I think it's because if you look at his stats against Arsenal in general and how many games he's played against Arsenal, he knows when to turn up in these games. Yeah. I just remember
about a minute. You got about a minute, so you get Winnie's team before you find out what
you've got to type it first, lad. So
the actual team.
Look at his goal at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium when he took a step to the right and then pinged it from about 30 yards into the top corner. So Wynnie, talk to me. Are you like me? Are you like Dave?
We're talking about Conte here. He only changes it when he needs to. I know. Personally, as a Spurs fan, I think we do need to change it today, but I don't think he does. I think he'll do it mid-game if the shit hits the fan. So we're going with our standard formation. I'm quite confident. I saw yesterday that Lloris was training. If he's training, then he's in the team. So I would say Lloris. We're going back three of obviously Longley, Dyer, and Romero. I would go for experience. I would have Cess at left back, and I would have Perisic at right wing back. That's what I'd go for. Perisic is a must out of the wing backs, by the way. The other one I'm not 100% sure on, but Perisic is a must. We'll go two midfield, Højbjerg and Bentoncourt, and he will go the three or the variation of the three up top, and it will be obviously Son, Kane, and Richarlison. I hope it isn't. I hope we go three in midfield, but I just can't see him doing it unless we need to mid-game. You're muted, mate.
So Dave and I have both seen the lineups already,
right?
But I'll let Dave finish doing what he's doing, and then we'll talk about the lineup as well. Here we go. So Lloris in goal, Emerson Royal at right wing back.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we've got Romero, Dyer, Longley, Perisic, Højbjerg, Bentoncourt, Richarlison.
Oh, that's not Bentoncourt.
Do you know what? You had a tough task, mate. You had a tough task.
It's fine. I can add him in. Don't worry about it.
So, Wynnie, coming straight back to you. You and I went for the standard formation.
Yeah.
What are you thinking? What's your thoughts on Emerson Royal against?
I think he's got some dirt on Conte, 100%. For how good, I just don't understand it. For how good of a manager Antonio Conte is, and there's no doubt about it. What does he see? Because us as fans, we're not world-class managers, but we know football. And we understand when a player, I'll give him his credit, he works hard and he looks like he wants to try. He looks like he's trying his hardest, but he's just not good enough. So I don't understand. Like I say, I think he's got some dirt on him. I don't know, it just annoys me. Like I said, I would have gone for Cess and Perisic, but maybe there's something we don't know about. But
yeah, Dave, talking about Emerson Royal, read this week that he's had his own personal scouting report on Hakimi, He's got.
I don't give a shit if he had
He's got a
scout
cryo
report on
chamber.
I don't give a shit if he's went out and watched Cafu tapes for 400 hours. He should be anywhere near this team today.
No.
I've got nothing against the guy. He's learning English, great. He's trying really hard, great. But the guy, oh Jesus Christ! If he is a postman, he'd been sacked after a day. He can't deliver nothing. It's a worry. But he could prove me wrong. Could be the day that he proves me wrong. But I won't hold my breath. I don't know what Jeff Spencer must do to even get a chance in this team.
He just doesn't like him, does he? For some reason, he's not a fan of him.
What a pointless fucking signing, though. What a pointless signing. Unless they're planning for days after Conte, that's potentially what it could be. But yeah, in terms of the team, obviously I got it wrong, and he's not playing a free in midfield. That worries me a lot. It does concern me because I do think that. I don't know. It's like if we allow Odegaard to control and dictate play, they will hurt us.
Yeah,
they will hurt us.
So, Wynnie, go into the lineups.
Yeah.
Now you can see them. What are your thoughts now? As in, where are the key battles now?
Yeah, exactly. And I don't want to just copy what Dave's saying, but it's exactly what we thought would happen if this was the formation. The midfield battle has now become huge, and I as good as Bentancur and Højbjerg are as a pair, I really do think we need another player in there. I'm pleased to see Longley, Romero, and Dyer. I think that's enough.
Solid.
Yeah, definitely. There's no Davinson Sanchez in there. Ben Davies, obviously, to his credit, he's done well since transforming to a left centre back. But for me, the games that Longley's played, he's been very, very good at progressing the ball forward, which is what we miss. When Davinson Sanchez plays there, it just looks like he gets the ball and doesn't know what to do with it. So I'm pleased to see those three at the back. But yeah, the midfield battle has just become huge. What I will say is I am pleased that Richarlison is starting because I do think this is his type of game. And I kind of in the back of my head, I knew he would because Conte absolutely loves a shithouse. And Richarlison is the epitome of a shithouse. So as long as he can control it and he doesn't lose his head, and I'd like to think that he'd be too scared to do that with the wrath of what Conte would bring if he was to get sent off. Do you know what I mean? So if he can keep his head, I think it's the right game for him. But we just need it's our front three. We need our front three. If our front three are on form, I think we win. We win the game. It's as simple as that.
Do you know what I was looking forward to? And it's a real shame that Decky got injured, Dave, because, and that's the worst thing about these ridiculous international fixtures that happen, midway through the first half of a season before a Winter World Cup.
Yeah.
Like, it blows my mind. I really wanted, because, with Zinchenko out and Tierney in, from what I guess is the lineup. I haven't even seen the Arsenal lineup.
I can tell you if you want.
Yeah, if someone could grab it. I really wanted to see him and his strength against that, because that's what worries me for Spurs. And what we're going to stop naysaying Spurs before we start laying into Arsenal. Is that I wanted to see his strength and his hold-up play and his crossing.
Oh, bloody hell, Arsenal full strength.
Because on the right-hand side, that's where Spurs are poor for me.
Yeah.
I like Richarlison. I do. I like him a lot. But I think him and Emerson Royale is not the best, pairing on that side.
Right, Arsenal lineup. Ramsdale, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko. He's fit.
Okay.
Partey, Xhaka, Saka, Odegaard, Martinelli, Jesus. They're full strength, basically.
Yeah. Well, it's expected. It was. I think it was. I saw earlier in the week that it was reported that Zinchenko was going to be out. Someone else was going to be out. There was about 4 or 5 names that were all potential.
No, that would have called it off if that had been the case.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. We've only got to look back at when they had one COVID case and they should have.
Exactly.
No, it doesn't surprise me they're full strength. It's just his attempt of mind games. But do you know what? If you want to try and play mind games with Conte, then good luck.
Yeah. And Wynnie, coming back to you, who do you man mark Jesus with? And do you think he will try to, move about the pitch and try and get away from, a Dyer? Or
I would stick Dyer on him. I think of the 3 defenders, I think Dyer is the one that would have the most discipline because in terms of like man marking, Romero, give him half a chance and he'd just go straight through the back of him.
But do you not think that early on that would be a good start? Romero to take him out.
Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't hate to see it. But it depends. I don't know who the referee is today, but you'd like to think they give a bit of leniency in a derby game. So I wouldn't be against it, but I'd stick Dyer on him. And obviously, if he drifts side to side, then change that. But Dyer on Jesus, I think would be what I would do.
Yeah, and Dave, what are your thoughts about that same question? Who are you sticking
Sorry,
on?
Ask the question again. I'm just typing out the Arsenal team news.
Who are you sticking on, Jesus?
Dyer. Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, Eric Dyer. I think he's the most experienced in that back line. I think Romero can be a little bit rash. So for me, you have to put Dyer in there.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Right. Okay. So before we kind of get into our thoughts on what the score's going to be today, because of course we have to definitely do that. I've got a random question for you both. Do you both play fantasy football?
I do, yeah.
Yes.
You know what, though? I'm in a league with you.
Yeah, and I'm fucking battering everyone.
I'm pretty close, mate.
74k in the world, but just put that out there. Anyway, only because it's the highest I've ever been in my entire life. Right. Who's got... I'll come to you, Dave. Who's got one Arsenal... Actually, do you know what? We'll do a raise of hands. Who's got one Arsenal player in their fantasy football team this weekend?
Not me. I've not even got a Tottenham player in my fantasy football this weekend, mate.
Right, so that kind of ruins the next question. I was going to say who's got two, but that's me as well. And who's...
I've got none. I don't want any.
Who's got three? Also me.
I used my free hit to avoid having Arsenal and Tottenham players in my team this week.
Wow.
Put it that way. I was like, nope, not happening. Because no, my luck, Jesus, I'll have Jesus still go and get a hat-trick and I'll be fuming. So,
Wynnie, is that why you haven't got any Arsenal players, or do you always play fantasy football with
I'll tell you why. I don't like to be that person, but I don't know anything red. I know this is a personal thing where obviously I want to be as high as you are in the world and stuff, but I just can't bring myself. I can't bring myself to put them in there. I really can't. I'm too bitter like that. I was the car that I've got now. I saw the exact same car, which was better in red. I didn't buy it, so I think that speaks volumes. You know what I mean? I'm very sad like that. But yeah, I couldn't bring myself to do it. If I was to put anyone in there, it would be Odegaard today. But
so do you not have any Arsenal players in your team ever?
No. Just as a rule. I don't want to say I've never ever done it, but I may have snuck one.
Someone's going to go back through your history.
Yeah, someone's going to be like,
yeah.
Last week you had Jesus.
But yeah, no. Interestingly, at the minute, I'm locked out of it and I can't get back into it, so I can't make any changes. But I know from a couple of weeks ago, I definitely didn't have any Arsenal players in there.
Right, Dave, are you similar with derby days? Do you not drink cans of Coke because they have a red can, or do you not eat tomatoes because
I don't eat tomatoes anyway because they're rank. Okay. But no, the red doesn't bother me. I just make sure I'm wearing blue or white. That's my only what do they call it?
Superstition. Yeah.
That's one. Yeah, I'll wear white or red. That's it. So I'm wearing blue swim shorts and my Tottenham shirt at the moment.
Swim shorts? Fuck
yeah, because I've got red shorts upstairs. I ain't wearing them. Oh, wait.
yeah, good. That's what we like to see.
But yeah, that's it.
Christ, you can't wear shorts up in Scotland these days. Jesus, you end up freezing to death.
Yeah, it's not that pleasant down here either, mate.
No, yeah, that was just a thought in my brain because I was doing my fantasy football yesterday. And to be fair,
who have you got in there then? You say you've got Arsenal players in there. Who have you picked?
Do you know what? I've got them. I've had them for pretty much the whole season, to be fair, and they haven't really done me too badly wrong.
I'll tell you who he's got. I'm looking at it right now.
Martinelli, Ramsdale,
and
Jesus. Yeah,
cool.
But only because of points, and points mean prizes, as we all know. But do you know what? I did actually think about it, and I do you know what? As soon as the show started, and because 11 o'clock is I think the deadline or something like that. As soon as the show started, I thought to myself, I should have just taken out Ramsdale and put in somebody else, like a Mendy or something like that, but just for the game. But actually, that's a good segue as well to talk about the flying chicken, as I like to call him, Aaron Ramsdale. Does anybody else have a problem with Ramsdale in terms of he looks like an all right goalkeeper and he gets good points with about an FPL, but does anyone else have a problem with his overreaction and think that actually, if we could get a lot more shots away at him today, we could do damage?
Yeah, I can't stand him.
Yeah, don't like him. And then that isn't just because he's an Arsenal goalkeeper. I really don't like him.
Like, he's a shithouse.
Yeah.
So what things don't you like about him, Wynnie?
Like Dave said, I think he's just a bit of a knob. Like you can just tell that by, I don't know the bloke obviously, but you can just tell the way he portrays himself on the pitch. He is just a dickhead. And for me to be like that, you have to be one of the best in the world. If you can back it up, then by all means do it. But he can't. He's not a bad goalkeeper, but he's
Clarence, mate. That's all he is.
Yeah, exactly. He's got his frailties. And if we start peppering him with shots today, I can guarantee that he won't be as comfortable as he thinks he'll be. But yeah, no, I just don't like his persona. I don't like what he's like on the pitch. But I'm sure people say the same about Richarlison, and we absolutely fucking love him.
But from a guy that's been relegated from three clubs before, 3 clubs actually,
3 times.
But before now, I agree with you. I think that I've seen some interviews with him. I don't think he's an asshole, but I get what you mean. Like the way he portrays himself on the pitch. I think that's like a role that he plays, and I think that as you say, if we could pepper him with shots today, and that would be the thing for Spurs. Like that's what I want to see from Spurs today. I want to see passion. I want to see fight, and I want to see attempts on goal. I don't care if we have 20, 25%, 30% possession, but I want to see that all areas of the pitch. We cannot start slow today. We cannot start like we have done in previous games where we go a goal down at half time and then Conte kicks everybody in the arse and then we crack on. Today needs to be the day that we start, Dave, really well, and we play really well for 90 minutes. And we finally say, this is the Tottenham under Antonio Conte with a full pre-season and, decent signings to show what they're made of. Because if we go out there today and get battered 3-0, it's going to hurt.
Yeah, we will see, mate. We will see. It's going to be interesting. I'm starting to feel a little bit sick now because we're I hate it, mate. I literally hate Derby Day. I don't get how people can enjoy it. No, it's horrendous for me.
Do you know what? A 12:30 kickoff as well is.
At least one good thing. If we do lose, it won't ruin your whole weekend because you've got time to digest it and get over it. But if they win, it's going to make your whole weekend. So even better.
Yeah. Do you know what? I think the opposite. Like 12:30 kickoffs. If you lose, that fucks me over for the whole weekend.
No for me. 3:00 on a Saturday. I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really do. I think we need to, like you said, we need to just start quick. And when was the last time we started quick? I can't even put my finger on it. I really can't. If we start quick, that's all. That should be the minimum. We should be able to see the players looking like they give a shit. These are professional footballers. I know the occasion can get to some people, and we're at the Emirates, and they might have the fans singing a little bit, but you know what? It's not difficult. Just look like you give a shit. Run around the pitch, keep the ball. We're not stupid. They can do it. Do you know what I mean? I get the occasion can get to some people, but all we can ask for, and I'd love to see it, if we can just go out there and look like, the teams that we've been playing against in terms of keeping the ball, keeping possession, and because every team we played against have looked good. We made Leicester look good for 45 minutes. Yeah,
definitely. Right, Dave. Before we go into score predictions, I want to know your 4 players in Spurs that are going to be up for it and 2 players that you think might falter today.
My 4 that'll be up for it will be Harry Kane.
Yeah.
Richarlison.
Yeah.
Bit of a left field one from me, especially Højbjerg and Dyer. And I think Emerson Royale won't be up for it. But I also think Sessegnon has the danger of... Oh, he's not even playing, is he, Sess? No. Oh, even better.
So that doesn't matter.
I'll change that then. Yeah, no, I can only think of one. I think Romero has the potential to be a bit reckless, but Emerson's my only worry.
Okay, Wynnie.
I think Harry Kane, 100% up for it. He always will be. I think Bentancur, I think he will have a good game today. He'll be up for it. Perisic, with his experience, he's played in some big games in his career. This will be nothing to him. And I think Romero will be all up for it. The two that are going to absolutely shit their pants for me, Emerson Royale, that's a given. And I think he's a good player, but I think Longley, I don't know why. It's his first North London derby. I just don't know how he's going to go, how he's going to take to it. But I'd still rather him be in there than Davinson Sanchez. So
just so you know, we've won one in the last 29 away at Arsenal.
Lovely, thanks for that, Dave.
No, I'm literally getting messages from Arsenal fans now, and I'm like, oh god.
Yeah,
I'll certainly feel better now. Yeah,
it's hard. I was trying to think of how many people I want to pick because I think that my initial thoughts were Kane, Son, Dyer, and Perisic, but obviously I also think that Richarlison could be up for it today.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with you, Wynnie, in terms of Longley not being up for it, but only because does he understand the magnitude of the game?
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah,
he's played in El Clasicos, mate. He gets it.
Yeah, but he might get that. Does he?
If he doesn't, he'll soon know.
Yeah, and that's obviously Emerson Royale. Right, so we are 40 minutes away from kickoff, so I won't keep you boys any longer. Now is the long-awaited score predictions. Now, I'm going to go Wynnie first, then Dave, then me. I don't want to end on Dave because it'll probably end up shit's pants. So, Wynnie.
So, I will tell you what the score is going to be and who are going to be the goal scorers. So, we are going to go 1-0 down. And I think I'm going to eat my words and Gabriel Jesus is going to score. And I think we are going to end up winning the game 2-1. Harry Kane and Heung-min Son.
Lovely. So if you're a betting man, blame Wynnie when you lose all your money and get that bet on. Dave, what are your thoughts on the score?
I'm going to do something I never do on this channel. I'm going to go draw. That's because I'll take a draw.
Do you know what? I even said it. I absolutely knew it.
I will 100% take a draw simply because, like I said to you, half of my family are Chelsea fans, half are Arsenal fans, half of my mates are Arsenal fans. So for me, this game is, if we win, fantastic, and we do have the capability to win, but one win in 29 away at Arsenal doesn't fill me with too much hope. So I'll take a 2-2 draw right now.
Oh, Desmond.
Records are there to be broken, though. Do you know what I mean? That's the thing. It's got to end one day.
Exactly. And that's the kind of
about Chelsea away for years, mate.
Exactly. And that's the kind of passion, that's the kind of energy that we need on this show, Wynnie.
It took 25 years, but we did it.
Yeah. Do you know what? I can't even remember what I predicted the other day on the shows I've been on. So I'm probably going to contradict myself here, but I'm not going to shit myself. And I'm going to go for 3-1 Spurs.
To be fair, I was close with the Leicester prediction. Do you remember? Because I said 5-1 and it was 6-2.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
If you're a betting man, 2-2 draw.
I'm going to go for 3-1 Spurs. I think you're right, Wynnie. I think they will go 1-0 up.
Yeah.
And I think that we will then be able to hurt them. I'm going to go for Richarlison scoring for Spurs today. I backed him this week. I'm going to back him now.
I'd love to see
it. And that's what I want to see. But that kind of brings us to an end. Wherever you are, if you're watching this, on repeat, if you're watching it live now, if you're watching it on Twitter, wherever you're watching it from, we hope you have a really, really good weekend. Obviously, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all at Park Lane Pod. David, thank you very much. Go enjoy the game. How can everybody follow you?
Yeah, I'm on, as you know, it's me, Park Lane Pod, Dave. I'm here most weeks. And when I'm not, one of these handsome men will be in my place.
Thank you very much. Wynnie, how can everyone find you?
I will start putting it in there. But it's Wynnie 1991 on Twitter. Like I say, just if you disagree with anything I put on there, please just get in touch with me. We'll have a good little debate, and that's what it's all about. But just echo what I want to say is I think we're gonna see a typical Spurs performance today. I think we're going to be 1-0 down at half time. Conte is going to take them in, absolutely kick the bollocks, and we're going to come out and win 2-1.
Lovely. That's what I like to see. If you want to follow me and my ramblings on Twitter, which not many people do, it's Luke_Park Lane on Twitter. So yeah, once again, I hope you all have a wonderful weekend and go enjoy yourselves. To all the Arsenal fans out there, do not enjoy your weekend. If we win, you will not see me off Twitter. If we lose, I'm going to go into hiding. So anyway, once again, thank you very much. Let's hope for a Spurs win today. And as we always say, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on.